You know, sunscreen and syrup, and you're ready to go.
Sunscreen
Get all sugared up.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
Welcome to another episode of the Park Hopper Show with Paul and Jenna. And today, what are we talking about?
Food. My favorite.
Food is your favorite?
Food is my favorite.
Smiling is my favorite, but food is a close second.
Yes.
And guess what? I'm starting off with a curveball.
Okay.
The Paul tip of the day.
Already?
To start off the show.
Are you going to play the music this time?
Maybe.
Okay.
So, we're going to talk about all the different kinds of food, but something that has been weighing on my heart a lot as I look at the news in Florida. And coming from the Midwest, we know that White Castle's is delicious.
Oh.
But Orlando is just figuring out what's going on with the White Castles.
There's a new castle in Orlando.
Now, people... Very nice. Mm-hmm. So, threw me off.
And it's white.
No. Yes, hence the name. I'm going to back this up a little bit. Sorry, folks, if you're watching. So, there's a lot of talk on whether you should leave the parks and go to this new White Castle and have some food. And my tip of the day is no.
Oh, really? That's a thing?
That's a thing.
People are
on
wondering?
Disney pages. They're like, should you leave? Because this is such a fun thing, and not everyone has a White Castle or a Crystal Burger, depending nationally where you are. But here's the deal about White Castles. Mm-hmm. Delicious. There's these little burgers. Where opinions are varying on White Castles. I love White Castles, but I'm also I've been stress eating for like a year and a half. And now that we're coming out of the pandemic, we're moving, and it's just one thing to another. So, White Castle is always a plus. They even have the Impossible Burger that's made with plants. So if you want a hamburger that's made from plants that still bleeds when they cook it, for whatever reason, an Impossible Burger, it's excellent. The French fries, they started putting them in a sack instead of the little boxes, so you can actually get a big bag of fries, the chicken ring, everything, the breakfast. I love White Castles. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
White Castles are not what you want on a hot day.
Ooh.
They are not what you want if you have, that's what I call a schedule clearer. So if you look into the future and anything before you get to that horizon line, if there's anything, you just don't have White Castles, all right? Now, those were what people would get on a late night, if you've been out carousing, perhaps, if you were at O'Malley's, if you were, having a good time in college, people might get, anytime you get a sack of hamburgers is not, a sack of hamburgers has never preceded a good event in your life. Ooh. So this is a coming home after, it's the last mistake in a day of mistakes.
Ooh.
So, and if you have it at noon, it's the last mistake you're making for the day because
you're done.
Because that's it. So what I'm saying is if it's 98 degrees out, a little bit of that beautiful humidity,
oh, gosh.
And you think, I've got some rides to ride, I'm going to spin around, I'm going to go fast, I'm going to stand out in the heat.
You're making my stomach hurt.
Yes, perhaps I should go get a bag of hamburgers. The answer is no. Now, if you get a chance to get White Castles any other time of your life, perhaps where you have your own restroom nearby, or things like that.
Sure, try it out.
Jenna does not seem as high.
I like them.
Listen, I love White Castles.
Like once every 10 years. Like I can't do it more than that.
She loves them once a decade. That sounds like real love. That's nice. So anyway, my tip of the day is no, you do not want to stop your day short. Now, if you have a hotel day, like Jenna likes to break it up, maybe leave the resort, go grab some hamburgers and go back home, or go back to the hotel and enjoy them while you're just laying out and you got nothing going on because especially if you're not from the Midwest and your stomach is not used to a White Castle. So we just got vaccinated, and I would say a White Castle is almost, you need to get like a little bit in your system like a vaccine before you have more. So you don't want to start off. You don't want to start off with.
Right.
You could buy a briefcase of them at the store. Like that's ridiculous. And you want, maybe one in your system a couple weeks, see how your body...
Maybe a booster later.
Yeah, maybe have somebody sit with you for 20 minutes and make sure your body doesn't have a reaction before you go all in. But that's people's rookie mistake. They're like, they're small. They call them sliders. And
for a reason.
That used to be a term that was negative, and White Castles was like,
we can't deny it.
We know who we are. We've all watched Harold and Kumar. They went there in the movies, and people they said, wait, we'll call them the gross thing too. So anyway, tip of the day, don't have White Castles on a day where you're going to a theme park.
No.
Be it Disney World, Universal, or if you're out near us, if you're like Kings Island, Kentucky Kingdom, Six Flags, you don't want White Castles. There's a reason they don't serve little tiny grease burger balls in theme parks because it's just not good. So now that rant about White Castles is over, we're going to talk about
we were going there today.
Curveball. Keep you on your feet. So
major curveball.
Let's go.
All right.
What do you got? I see notes.
So going away from White Castles, I have to say that one of our favorite things in Disney is eating.
Yeah.
And Universal.
Yeah. Or home. Or school.
We do love to eat, and we love good food. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be staying in a theme park for a week. All I'm going to get is burger and fries and pizza. That's all they're going to have. No, far from the truth. So part of my job when I help people book their trips is booking their dining reservations. Now, typically on a normal day when you're going to go out to eat that night, you might make a reservation the day before, right?
Yes.
If it's somewhere nice that fills up.
Dorcia.
But with Disney, it's 60 days before. It used to be 180 days before. But now with COVID, it's 60 days out at 6 a.m. So it's
That's
6
too early to eat
a.m.
dinner.
No, I get up and book the reservation at 6 a.m.
Well, that makes more sense.
So at 6 a.m. for 60 days out, the reservation's open. Mm-hmm. So it's a big deal. And especially now with COVID that, capacity is limited inside the restaurants, it's really important to get those reservations made early. And so you're guaranteed a spot in there. Now, you don't have to have a reservation to eat everywhere, obviously. But backtrack. Disney has several options on eating. You've got your snack kiosks all around the park, like popcorn, your pretzels, your ice creams.
Now let's talk about this for a second because this is something that I really just realized that. So I mentioned a couple more regional theme parks in my rant about burgers, but usually you go to a theme park and they almost have like a food court where it's like, here's all the rides, here's the water park, here's the food. And then you eat your food, and then you go back out in the park. But Disney is unique where every different, whether it's Epcot or the Magic Kingdom or Universal Studios Hollywood, which is not part of their theme park. I'm thinking of Disney Studios. Disney Hollywood Studios, they change it every 6 months. I don't know. But anyway, they all have, ride, restaurant, snack stand, little restaurant.
You're right. I didn't really think about that. But it is all over.
It's almost like a little city that you're in with rides. Like it's to call it a theme park is weird if you call other places with roller coasters theme parks because it's almost like a whole different world that you're. It's a Walt Disney World. So
and you have different themes, and and I had never thought about that. It's not like all the food's in one spot. Everywhere you're walking around, you can find food. So the snacks are easy. It's just going up to a cart or a window and getting quick things.
I'm calling you out. That's fine.
We have a daughter walking through.
We do not have a daughter.
We do not.
She has a daughter. I have a daughter, but she's not here. She's in school.
Shut the door. Okay, so we really like the snacks. They kind of hold us over to the next meal. So maybe I should just lay out how we do our dining on a trip.
Lay it out.
Lay it out.
Okay.
And this is what I typically recommend for a lot of my families. Because when you're at home, most people eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? A full meal at breakfast, a full meal at lunch, and a full meal at dinner. And then, so when they are planning for Disney, they think it's going to be like that. Especially when Grandpa's coming. Grandpa wants to know he's going to have his 3 meals a day. But when you're running around to the rides and the attractions, you don't necessarily want to stop for 3 meals a day. So what we do is we will get a quick service breakfast in our hotel. What that means is now you can mobile order it, and you could be sitting in your hotel bed, put in your breakfast order, and what time you're going to go pick it up, and go down to
your house. You sit in your bed and have breakfast. It's a little inside fun.
So then you walk down to the little quick service restaurant. All of the resorts will have
a quick service. Quick service restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All of the resorts will have a quick service restaurant, and so you go down, you can pick up your breakfast, sit down and eat, and then we head to the parks. Well, I will pack little snacks like trail mix or chips or something to munch on, and you can take any food into the park as well.
No glass bottles.
No glass bottles. That's right, and
no
alcohol.
No opened bottles of drink.
That's right. Okay.
You could always drain a water bottle and fill it up with vodka from the bottom.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
No, they don't want you having questionable snacks, so they don't let you have open containers. Like you can't have a half-open Mountain Dew and go in.
No, you can.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can do that. We do that all the time. We have bottles and all kinds of stuff.
Well, they know you. They're like, hey, Railey's, Mama Railey's here. Get a picture with her.
All right, so then
I'm going to look into that.
Midday, like 11-ish, somewhere around there, we'll get a snack. We'll get some popcorn or a pretzel or
you keep going.
We might get ice
cream
or churro. My favorite is the waffle, which we've talked about before. It's a big Belgian waffle in Magic Kingdom.
This is the Magic Kingdom
with Nutella spread on it, and then a ton of fresh fruit. You fold it like a taco. Oh, it's so good. So we might get that, and all of us take some bites, and that holds us over. And then we'll schedule an early dinner for like 3 or 4 o'clock, a big meal, a reservation where we're going to sit down. Because here's the thing, if you schedule it for 6, like normal dinner time, you're going to go eat, and then when you head back to the park, you don't have much time.
Time out. I'm sorry. This is what I got from Lily's school. Look at the caption.
Oh. She wanted to show you.
A bird pooped on my daughter at preschool today, and the teacher sent a picture because she wanted to show me.
That's sweet. So,
I'm sorry, Jenna.
So we schedule our dinner early for like 3 or 4 o'clock. Then we can sit down in the AC, eat, and then have plenty of time to go back to the park afterwards. A few more hours, depending on how long they're open. Then later at night, like 7, 8 o'clock, if everybody's hungry, we can get another snack. So that's kind of how we do it. So we don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do breakfast and then an early dinner, and then we kind of fill in the gaps with some of their snacks.
Now, can I say what we do?
Yes, I would love to hear what you do.
We like the same breakfast. Go down in the quick service restaurant at the hotel.
Get the Mickey waffles.
Mickey waffle. Yes. Just, it's fun to go through and see. It's part of, I think to me, something about having that tray.
Yeah.
You get a little plastic tray and go through like you're in school, and you're like, I'm going to fill this up with some chocolate milk and a refillable cup that we'll get to later. And you go there and sit, and it's loud, and you get that excitement.
Yes, everybody there is getting ready to go to the park.
Right.
And, yeah.
Now, when I go on trips, when I'm not at Disney, when I'm working or something, I go down as secretly as I can, and I get the food out of there, and I take it back up to the room because I don't want to be with the others at the Holiday Inn Express. But at Disney, you've got that shared experience, and everybody smells like sunscreen, and you're just, sunscreen and syrup, and you're ready to go get all sugared up.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
And you get, the kids' apple juice, and they drink it in the little van or whatever, the bus. The shuttle.
The shuttle.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
The shuttle to the park, and then, everybody's on the same page then, and then we go through, we might have a snack here or there, one of the, a waffle. We love the waffle. Mm-hmm. Any kind of like weird stuff that we wouldn't let our kids have at home, like an apple that they've decorated with 12,000 calories of sugar and caramel and molasses or whatever, just a big ball of apple that by the time you get to the apple, you're
apple's like this big.
And you're like, it's gross apple. Who wants that? We've seen Snow White. We know how this ends. So then we like a quick service lunch as well.
Okay.
We like the Pecos Bill.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do like Pecos Bills.
It's a little quick service Mexican restaurant, and it is actually, it's really good Mexican food to just be, again, with a tray.
Quick.
And Disney World in general can be chaotic when it's full capacity, but being in those restaurants, there's something about it where it's fun because and especially now when we haven't been, like this is as close as we've been to anyone, like in a year, and you're just like, oh, I can just think about going out and everybody's getting their tacos and
big trays.
Everybody's happy, except there's like always, sometimes it's our family, there's somebody crying, but there's some like charm to it at the little theme restaurants, and then
you feel immediately connected to all the other parents, don't you? Like we get it.
But we go to
I know what
dinner
you're going through.
somewhere else usually. Like we will go.
Yeah.
We like having dinner like somewhere at the boardwalk.
Right. Yes.
Or something like that, where you actually like. There's a lot of cool themed restaurants at the places, but we. And then you go back for fireworks or something like that. Now maybe you get a crave case of White Castles and go and throw them down.
Now that's a good point, Paul. I do, especially for Magic Kingdom. I will say the table service at Magic Kingdom is not my favorite. The restaurants that they have there, they're good, they're fine, but they're not my favorite. So a lot of my people, when they're in their Magic Kingdom day, I will schedule their dinner for one of the resorts on the monorail. So then, especially if they're not staying at those
mean
resorts,
like other hotels? Is that resorts when you're saying that?
Yeah. So like, if they're at Magic Kingdom, they can hop on the monorail and go to Chef Mickey's at the Contemporary, or they can go to Kona Cafe at the Polynesian, or my favorite, the Grand Floridian Cafe at the Grand Floridian. I send everybody there because I think the Grand Floridian's beautiful. Not everybody can stay there. I get that. But going in to eat and hear the music and smell, the Grand Floridian has that smell. So I typically will schedule them a dinner there. And the Grand Floridian Cafe I love because not many people go there, so it's very quiet and just a quaint, beautiful little restaurant. So it's a great break from the park because it's quiet.
It's the opposite of Pecos Bill.
It's the opposite of Pecos Bill, yes. So you sit down. They have a ton of options: meatloaf, steak, shrimp, anything you want, but then it's not like
meatloaf at the end of the day. I got my 20,000 steps. I'm going to have
some meatloaf.
What
I really like about it is we love condiments. Like we're Austin calls me Big Dipper. So
big sipping, big dipping. Boom. She goes
Stella's big. Stella, not Big Sipper. What's he call her? Big Gulp. He calls her Big Gulp, and I'm the Big Dipper. So, but when we asked for ranch, they brought it on a little doily with like a china plate.
Like, we know who you are. And you were like, put that in my purse, china plate. We're paying with cash. They're not going to catch us.
So we really like the Grand Floridian Cafe. So, but then at Hollywood Studios, sometimes I have people leave and go to the boardwalk because it's so easy to get to the boardwalk from Hollywood Studios. Also now with the Skyliner, if you're at Hollywood Studios, I might skyline you over to a resort like the new Riviera. They have the rooftop resort. So you might take the Skyline over to the Riviera, eat on the rooftop, have a nice quiet dinner, then skyline back to the park and enjoy the night. So going back, they have snacks. They have your quick service, which is just mobile order at a window. It's quick. Or table service, where you sit down, order food from a menu, a waitress or a waiter brings it to you. It's more low-key. Those require reservations. And then we have fine dining, which you don't think about when you think about theme parks, but we have gotten to where we really enjoy fine dining. My girls are like, I will have the filet.
What about like a doily of ranch for my salad?
For my filet. So some of our, like you've got California Grill, which is our favorite. It's on the roof of the Contemporary. It faces the park. So back when they had fireworks, we would schedule dinner there. Actually, we would have dinner, then we would make a reservation there for like an appetizer and dessert. And we would sit up there and watch the fireworks show. So they pipe in the music for the fireworks show. It's all glass windows, and you just sit there and enjoy your food and the fireworks in a quiet restaurant.
You forgot, the most exciting part of that is instead of like the Skyliner, they get a family from the value resorts to carry you in on their shoulders on a gold chair to go sit at the fancy restaurant with her and her children.
Not true. Not true.
Yeah, we get extra pool time if we can carry the...
Stop it. No, I mean...
It does sound really nice. I've seen sadly, some terrible video of the fireworks from...
Mine?
Yeah. That's what I was talking about, yeah.
Great, okay.
But it looked amazing.
Yeah, so. It is. We really like that restaurant. And like I said, we don't go there and order the $50 steak. We get an appetizer and the girls get dessert, or Julia has gotten the filet, but because she loves her.
She better start singing. Her math homework is not going to get her.
She's got some high taste. And then you have the new restaurant at the Riviera. The name of it, but it's the same idea. It faces Epcot, so it's glass windows facing Epcot. you know, you have Cinderella's Royal Table, which we've never done, but people love it. It's in the castle. Did you all ever do that?
Oh.
Yeah.
In the castle?
In the castle.
Oh, I didn't even know that was
yeah, there's a restaurant, and the princesses are there, but it's like a set menu.
Oh, yeah, that's...
You know, and
keep
it's
that.
really expensive. So we've never done that.
It's in, like, where... Like the big pink and blue castle in the middle?
Yeah, upstairs. So they have Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in there, and
I knew there was
this
that,
restaurant.
and then there's like that one suite that like fancy people get to stay at sometimes. But I didn't know there was a restaurant.
There is a restaurant.
That's cool.
And so
That sounds
some
fun if
people
they
want to
didn't
make
have
a
that
reservation there, and the fireworks are right out the window.
Oh, that
you
would.
know?
Hey, now we're talking.
Now that would be fun. Yeah. Except the fireworks are at 9:00 at night, and you have this set menu of food. You can't order just an appetizer. You know, that's too late to have a big meal.
Yeah, well, you got all your ketchup packets and you're sucking on them until it's dinner time. Got them from the hotel. Got my syrup, I say, from the waffles.
So there's definitely good food to be had. So we've gone through Magic Kingdom. Yes.
Well, I was saying that's Magic Kingdom. That's the main thing. I don't know. Epcot is mainly food.
Epcot is a whole different story.
Yeah. Half the thrill is the
food and drinks.
But you go differently there because there's so many festivals. Are we talking about that, or are we just going to talk about the restaurants in general?
Well, yeah. So they do have festivals. They have in the spring they have the Flower and Garden Festival. In the fall they have the Food and Wine Festival, which they're actually starting in August this year. And so during those festivals, they do bring out special food and drinks that aren't there normally during the year. But the whole thing with Epcot is you've got all the countries. So when I sit down with my families to plan their trip, I'll say, is there a certain type of food that you love? Like if you were to go to any country and eat dinner, where would it be? You know?
What's yours?
Well, okay, so, I mean, we love Mexican food, but you can get that anywhere. We've talked about this before. We did the hibachi grill. So we went to Japan. Normally at home we would never go get Japanese food. We would never go to a hibachi grill, but actually we have never been to one. So we went to the hibachi grill in Japan, and it was delicious. It was so good.
It was a trick question. The answer is always America. That's...
So you can go to America and get you a turkey leg and a beer.
Listen, your hibachi grill that you're loving is in America, even though it's themed in like Japan. I'm just saying.
True. You're right.
No,
so
yes,
you could go to France and get, you know, a fancy French meal.
Is there something new there, right? At the French?
At the French?
Yeah. Is there something with the Remy Ratatouille coming in October?
We have not gotten official word if there's going to be a restaurant yet.
Forget I said it.
Yeah, but there is a ride. There is a ride, obviously. The Ratatouille ride is opening in October.
I thought there was a new restaurant going.
There's a sign for it.
Oh,
and we can't really tell if it's just part of the attraction or if there's actually going to be.
It's a food.
I would imagine they would do it.
They should.
Right.
It seems like a missed.
I would imagine they would do one. And then, you know, Italy has a great restaurant. The UK has a great fish and chips place that people love.
It is a little pub. It's fun.
Yeah. So definitely good food to be had there. Animal Kingdom to me is the best place for quick food. Snacks and quick food. Animal Kingdom is great.
We've talked about lobster mac and cheese.
Lobster mac and
cheese.
cheese.
No less. Like,
right.
What is that? Where you can't get that.
I think they have smoothies, which those are hard to find in Disney because we really like smoothies. They have the barbecue loaded French fries.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see those, but that sounds...
Yes. So back when they had the dining plan, which we won't even go into that today because they don't have that anymore. And I'm sure when it comes back, it's going to be different.
No, maybe.
But that was the highest amount, like that was the best bang for your buck on a snack credit, was the barbecue fries.
Sounds amazing.
So they've got pizza, barbecue, burger, and they have all kinds of stuff.
Or they also have weird... I'll say weird. It's depending on where you are from. Probably things that would make you feel real happy, but things that I don't like to eat at my house. That my wife is like, yay.
Yeah, they do have African food.
Ethnic delights, and I don't even know if that's the right term. No offense needed or meant in saying that, but things from like international foods that aren't Italian.
Not your thing.
It's not like it's a pizza, it's a taco, it's stuff you eat. It's like Huh, look at that. How about that?
It's a lamb chop.
As I'm eating, it's something that it's in a big bowl, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to keep eating these French fries because America.
Now, we tried a new restaurant on our last trip. New to us. A lot of people have been there, but it's at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So you would take a shuttle from the park to the lodge, and it's Sanaa, and it's out on the savannah.
What's it called?
Sanaa. Sanaa. I'd like to see you do better.
Trying hard.
Okay.
No, Sanaa. No, that's I was not getting on you. I was getting on everything.
So we went there one day. They have a bread service, which they bring you pita bread and then a ton of little dips to dip them in. And when you're sitting there, the giraffes and everything are walking right around the windows. So that's really fun.
Can you tell me pita bread? Are they like the geese and squirrels? Finish all the pita bread. Oh, stick my neck in here.
Hollywood Studios. Again, not my favorite place to get food. Now, the big thing there right now is Oga's, which is the Oga's Cantina is the Star Wars bar. Oh. And it's not a restaurant. They do have some weird snacks.
Hot dog with a relish on a pita bread.
But they have fun drinks you can get for kids or adults. My girl's got a drink with like frog eggs in it or something. And it's set up like...
We had Orbits when we were kids.
It's set up like the bar, the little cantinas in Star Wars. So you've got like the robot playing, the DJ. Yeah, it's really neat. I do love that. There is the Hollywood Brown Derby, which I think is considered fine dining. It's supposed to be kind of nice. And then you've got some character meals that are coming back.
You're leaving out the big one.
Sci-fi, our favorite. Yes, I do. I love sci-fi. It's been really hard to get people into right now because the capacity is so limited. But Sci-Fi Diner, I think, is one of our tops.
A mid-level hamburger, but a high-end milkshake.
Well, their steak's good.
A steak?
Yeah, I think Austin got their steak.
Could we be more really different at this park? Do you have any foie gras? For my milkshake, with my milkshake. No. So
Sci-Fi is themed as a
drive-in.
Drive-in, thank you. And so it's inside, but it looks dark, like you're outside at night with a big drive-in screen, and it's showing old black and white sci-fi movies. But your table is a convertible car, so that is super fun. And it's kind of like the diner style. I was going to say they're on roller skates. They're not on roller skates, but that would be fun.
It'd be so fun because it's fun to dark. You just hear glass falling, people landing on forks. Well, I dropped her steak. Just blow it off.
So, some options there. Oh, there is Andy's Lunchbox at the new Toy Story Land. And you like that, right?
It was so good.
Yeah.
And it was so like, I'm not going to get on Disney because they charge what they want, but to me, it was very reasonable, and they call them potato barrels, but some tater tots with cheese and nachos and a fancy Pop-Tart. Man.
A fancy Pop-Tart. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it was just like, this is a perfect amount of food. It wasn't a steak. In the middle of the day again, I don't know. I'm going to get back out there at 1 in the afternoon after having my steak and a milkshake. Goodness gracious. But yeah, it's good. I forgot about Andy's Dining.
Yeah.
It's
quick service. And it's all outdoor.
Yeah, that's
So that's a little...
To me, and to a lot of people, that's the one bugaboo of that one.
Bugaboo.
Yep. But what about... Wow. What about your dog has glasses on. That's what I'm laughing.
Oh, wow.
What...
Okay, so...
What's that restaurant where you get yelled at?
Okay, oh gosh.
Really?
So Primetime Diner is set up like a 50s diner, and that is one of those restaurants where they'll be like, you need to get your elbows off the table, that we don't sit at dinner table, So that's kind of a fun place that people like to go to as well. All those different themed restaurants people really enjoy. So you have your 4 parks. All the parks have resorts close by. So like I said, sometimes depending on what kind of food my people want, I'll send them to a resort nearby. There are some places that are known for their sushi. So if I have somebody that's really into sushi, I've got a couple places for them to go. There's a couple places that do great seafood. There's a couple places that are supposed to be known for their steak. So really, it's just me sitting with the families and asking, what kind of food do you all like? What time of day do you like to eat? allergies. We haven't talked about that. Disney is amazing with food allergies, I have to say, because we've gone through some in our family, and the chef will come out and talk to you, and Universal, the chef will come talk to you and make sure he does everything the way you need it to be done. And there are really good options. They're dairy-free, gluten-free. Those were our big ones. But like the pita bread, they had a gluten-free pita bread, which you can't find anywhere. Gluten-free buns, bread. They'll bring out a whole basket of bread for my daughter that's gluten-free. So they're great with the allergies. And then we haven't talked about, you have Disney Springs, which is
we've never talked about
45 more restaurants. You know,
is it really?
Well, it's up there. It's not 45, but there are tons of restaurants at Disney Springs.
Some of them are actually good restaurants too.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, in other episodes. We'll probably talk about hotels in an episode. I don't like, as far as Disney is, the lower end, what I refer to as the lower end of everything, where it's just like. If I'm going to Disney World, I'm not going for fancy, but they have it's like the Boathouse, isn't that? Like they have these real nice restaurants, but I mean, if I'm there, I'm like, that place has a volcano exploding, or that one's got a big dinosaur head. We're going to the dinosaur restaurant, people. It doesn't matter if it's the same food that you can get. Something about the theming always gets me in the heart.
We like good theming too.
But if you're not into I mean, there's rainforest cafes all over the country,
right?
And T-Rex brand, it's the same branded place,
right?
But they have everything. They've got your fun place with a gift shop, built into the restaurant.
Right.
And they have, like your...
We did, on our last trip, the Irish pub.
We've eaten
Have you done there?
It was very good.
And so they had Irish dancers.
Oh.
And that was kind of fun.
They did not have that.
They had a live piano or guitar player outside. And this was even during COVID. And then inside they had the Irish dancers. And that was fun because they had gluten-free fried food. So Stella could get onion rings and stuff that's fried that
just because you're gluten-free doesn't mean you have to be healthy.
That's right. So she, can't get that at a lot of places. So that was a big treat. Disney Springs brings in a lot of local people with their nightlife. So I don't always send my families there at night for dinner.
You've read about Florida in the news. You know how these people are. The locals.
But it's great on a pool day. If you have a pool resort day planned, a lot of my people will head over to Disney Springs for dinner and then come back.
What we do, oftentimes we will drive, and we'll get there 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and that first day, you're not going to the park. We'll go check in at the hotel and stretch out, and then we'll have a night at Disney Springs where you just go see it all, and then it's almost like another day of theme park because it's kind of
free.
It's kind of a theme park unto itself. Even the parking is free, which is is that still going on free?
I don't know. I didn't know because I don't drive a lot.
Oh, the last time we went, we drove and they just put in the park. Years ago, you just pulled right up, but now it got so popular and so big, they put in big parking garages.
Yeah.
But I mean, even locally, there's very few parking garages that are free to drive downtown. But you go to Disney Springs, and you're like, it's kind of nice. You just go in and, I mean, you could spend a day there if you really wanted to, seeing they've got the NBA experience and Cirque du Soleil whenever all this stuff comes back.
Yeah.
They have
the water cars.
They've got a big balloon. You can take certain, your favorite hotel, you can take a boat from the hotel to Disney Springs, have dinner, have a pool day, get out of the pool, go get on a boat, go to dinner, come home on a boat. Come on.
Come home.
They can't even beat that. What are you doing? What are you even trying to beat that?
That's right.
So.
Yeah, that's a great place to go eat. I do occasionally. I've had people say they're going to pack turkey sandwiches all day.
Man, we thought about it, and then we get down there, and you're like, throw them in the air, people. Get this turkey leg.
I don't know. That's not my thing. For one, I feel like those hotel refrigerators just don't get quite cold enough to hold deli meat all week. I don't know about you, but those refrigerators don't get super cold. Now, if you have, my families that have booked villas and you have a full kitchen, then that's a different story.
But if you're booking a villa, you're not getting a turkey sandwich.
If you're booking a villa, you're not making turkey sandwiches, that's right. Although you might make breakfast because you have such a good breakfast area. And so they might have groceries delivered in, and then they might cook up breakfast before they head out to the park because it's just a little more relaxed setting. But in a regular hotel room, I just can't see myself cutting up some deli sandwiches.
Well, Miss Big Packer, if you're a listener to the show, she talked about her Universal backpack full of goodies and stuff. Can you take like granola bars and snacks like that? Like into?
Oh yeah.
We have never. I don't know why we've never done that. We've never once packed a snack to take.
We live on that because you're in line and you don't feel like going over and getting popcorn,
It's such a good
so
idea.
you just get out some little snacks.
You get your neck thing of popcorn anyway, so you're wearing it.
Wearing my popcorn. Now, heading over to Universal.
Let's do that.
That's their dining is good too. Now, I will say, I don't think their quick service is as good as Disney's quick service, but they do have some good options. They have a lot of burger and pizzas, but then they do have like in Islands of Adventure over in Jurassic Park, they have a really good restaurant that has like rotisserie chicken and rice and beans and corn on the cob and some different things.
Dinosaur theme name?
I forgot it.
Okay.
I forgot that one. So then...
Which cut that part out.
Cut that part out. In Harry Potter, you've got your 2 restaurants in the Harry Potter worlds. They're okay. Well, I really like their breakfast. Their lunch and dinner is English food. So it's just like...
I would take some fish and chips and have a pint, and then we'll get out of here. Well, no, everything else is gross.
I don't know. It was just different. Not what we're used to.
Because we won that war. Go back to England with your bloody boiled meat.
Boiled potatoes.
Boiled everything. That's what we do here, governor. It's
now, there are some table service restaurants in the parks. We, however, did all of our meals at the
City Walk.
City Walk.
Yeah, that place is cool.
So when you leave the 2 parks, you're in City Walk. City Walk has restaurants and stores, live music, kind of like Disney Springs, but not as big. But they have some really good restaurants. So we did make reservations there every night. Now, when Austin and I went last weekend just by ourselves, yay, such a fun trip. We might have to do a whole podcast on just traveling without kids because it was fun. But we went to a restaurant. So they have a resort called Portofino Bay, which is one of their deluxe resorts, and it's on the water, a boat ride to the park. It's an Italian resort. And so the restaurant...
Tortilla Gems.
The name. I can't think of any names today. We ate there. Bice, B-I-C-E, because I said Bice, and he was like, "You mean Bice? It's on the 2nd floor."
Yikes! That was real dicey, people. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that either. But
so it was amazing. We sat outside on this little patio. Their resort is, it feels like Italy. So you've got like the little boats on the water. It was real quiet because people were not back in from the parks yet. It was super quiet. There was birds.
Jet form.
There were only the birds. There were only 3 of us, 3 families out on the patio. And the food was delicious. I got some big seafood platter. Austin got ravioli. It was fine dining. And so we had like a nice night because this was the first time we've traveled with kids ever. And so without kids. I'm sorry. First time we've ever traveled without kids. And so we were living it up. So we had a nice dinner. We also they have Margaritaville, which again is a chain, but it's fun. They've got Jimmy Buffett playing the whole time, and you get these nachos that literally fed our whole family. That's all we ordered were these nachos, and we were done.
What about that chocolate place?
There is the chocolate factory that is so neat inside. It's set up like it feels like the 20s and
the 1920s, not the current.
No, true. Well, that's weird.
And sitting far apart. In like 80 years, they're like, it's just like the 20s where you can't look at each other in the eye.
Covered up with masks. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. 1920s. And they're known for their over-the-top milkshakes. So that's the Chocolate Factory. Definitely you want a reservation. I don't know.
Doesn't it look like a chocolate factory from the outside?
Well, they've got like the wheels.
Yeah,
and
if you
all
feel
that
ripped
stuff.
off at the Cheesecake Factory, it doesn't really feel like a factory making cheesecake. The Chocolate Factory
does feel like a factory. They have Hard Rock Cafe. That wasn't our favorite. Their menu was pretty limited, and that could have just been with COVID.
It's the same.
They have a Mexican place. So good. I'll think of the name in a
this is
second.
rough.
I should have made more notes.
Voodoo Donuts.
Voodoo Donuts. Oh my gosh.
So I went the last time I got to go. We actually I was there for a church conference, and we did not go to Universal Studios. Well, that's a different story. But we were at a hotel across the street, and I got up early that morning because I heard about how great Voodoo Donuts was, and just walked across the street to have breakfast. And you can just sit out there, have a donut, watch all the people in their Harry Potter capes file into the park, and just go. I mean, it is. If you love donuts, it's just magical inside. It's a neat place to be, and that is actually also the chain. But there's only like 3 in the country or 4 or something.
Oh, really?
That's not the only one, but it is like it's a destination for people who like sweets like that. So I was a big fan of. Like I said, I walked across the street, and when I say across the street, it's like a mile because of all the walking. But it was worth it. To get those donuts. I love the Voodoo Donuts. Yeah. So we would get those at night after the park and take them back for the morning in our hotel. That's a good idea.
Although one day we stayed till the park closed, and it was a little later than normal, and as we were walking through, the line for Voodoo was like a mile long because everybody had that idea. So anyways, Antojitos was the Mexican place, and they're one of those places that do the tableside guac. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done that?
Yes, my wife loves it. I'm not a big.
Where does she get it?
We went.
Because I'm trying to find a place here.
There was a place in Huntsville that we would go to.
So
I make it at
bring
home.
The cart to your table, and they chop it all up, and they make the guacamole right there for you. So we like that place. They've got a Burger King Whopper bar.
Ew.
That was Austin's reaction too.
Yeah, you got a steak in here?
Where's my doily?
you're both on opposite ends. Burger? You said you make it my way.
So anyways, a lot of great options there at the City Walk and in the park. For our family, we ate at the City Walk.
So what we're saying is, any kind of food you want, they've got it all over. But there's something else that we are talking about food, and I'm looking at a whole line of them.
Yes.
And we've touched on it before as collectibles.
Okay, so we're talking about...
Rude.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, you're in the park, and there's other things besides stuffing your face. In a restaurant, sometimes you want to stuff your face as you walk around, and So we're going to talk about refillable food, because our family loves refillable food. It's like a buffet for one.
What we've talked about is the popcorn bucket, which is our favorite. It usually has a lid on it. It's in the kitchen. But then you can carry around your popcorn bucket. You can get it refilled.
If you've got little kids, it's great.
I think it's $2 now to refill it. And
you buy the bucket,
great.
And then you just $2 and fill it up, and then give it to your little child, and half of it's spilling out. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's $2.
Yeah.
And you just kind of snack on it throughout the day. And then we use these a lot, like we've said, for movie nights and stuff at home.
I'll say the more they're munching, the less they're complaining about anything else. So.
Also, another good thing for this is at the pool. If you didn't bring pool toys, you can play with this and dump water on your kid.
Yeah, this popcorn tastes like urine.
Also at Disney, I don't have it with me, but they have the refillable mugs. Now, back when they had the dining plan, the good old days with the dining plan, you would get a free mug, and it would be like a travel coffee cup with Mickey or characters on it with a lid that opens and closes. But it's only refillable at the resort.
It looked like this with a handle. For those who can't picture.
So
it's a mug.
Right now, those are $19.99, and
they're worth it.
You can refill it at your resort all you want. Now, we haven't done them in the past couple trips because we're just not at the resort that much to refill it. Back when they were free, we would use it all the time.
We get them, and we're not at the resort probably more than you are, but we would get them because you go in the morning and you get your soda, and you sip it down, and then you come home at night and you want to drink.
You're right,
you're like, I'll just go down to that little restaurant and fill up my soda, and you're good to go.
That is nice. You are right.
But we've always thought $20 for a cup, you're like, yeah. But if you're buying a cup at Disney, you're looking at $20 anyway.
Right.
And this is a good souvenir, and free sodas for what it's worth if you're a soda person or
coffee. You can fill it with coffee or tea.
Can you really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
it's a lot of tea.
Okay.
We enjoy it though. Those are good things to get.
Yeah, Disney has the popcorn bucket and the mug. And then Universal, Austin really likes Coke. He actually likes cherry Pepsi. But both theme parks sell Coke.
That lid could be
This isn't from the park. This is actually coffee.
Oh, I was going to say, come on, man.
Yeah, I had to pull it out of the dishwasher. So,
it's like you were gone 2 weeks ago.
When we went last week, he did get one of these. These are good in the parks, but not the resorts. Oh. The resorts have their own. The parks have these, and it's actually a really nice cup. We've used it a lot since then.
Well, as a Universal, I'm just.
You don't want to touch that.
It's fine over there.
It came on the dishwasher.
As a Universal person who enjoys it, I have not been to Universal and stayed on a Universal hotel ever. So we always, like Disney, you go back because you're all just right there. But Universal, we just stay all day. So this is perfect for that because you're just there.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Now, what's the price for that?
So these are, I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. If you're just doing one day, it's $16.99. And that's all we did. We just did one day.
The free refills though?
Free refills and freestyle.
And this is like,
so you have a
ton
machine of options.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Austin doesn't like the freestyle. He doesn't think the syrup mixes well. So...
Oh my goodness. Well, I see why you two are together.
So he would find the little kiosk booths where they had the actual fountain Coke, and he wanted that. But what was nice about this...
Was it on a slot machine? How did you get the Coke out of that thing?
Yeah, it has that pull down button. We don't fill it up. You take it to the thing, and they pull that thing down.
I have not been, so I don't know.
Okay. Or maybe you push the button.
That's what I'm used to, the freestyle machine. That's why I didn't know what this was.
Oh. Door slam. Okay, but what was really nice about this, too, though, is they'll fill it with water, too. Oh. So even if you don't want 6 refills of Coke all day, we would take it and fill it up with water, and that would save us $3.50 on a bottle of water, And
you're not getting Dasani water.
Right.
Which is $10.
So then if you're doing 2 days, it's $15.99 a day, so you save $1 a day. And if you're doing 3 to 6 days, it's $12.99 a day.
It's per day, though. Okay.
Yeah, but what they told us is, because it has this chip at the bottom.
That, like the Disney mugs do, too.
Right. And so they said, pay for 1 day. If you decide you want to use it tomorrow, we'll scan the chip and we'll charge you the 2-day price or whatever, instead of doing 2 individual days. Does that make sense? So, yeah, we had a lot of fun with this.
If you don't want to carry, a 6-pack in your backpack, granola bars, just throw out your sodas.
Now, see, that was the thing. When I have the girls with us, I carry a big backpack.
Dry ice.
And I have a ton of water bottles. Everybody's got to we drink a lot of water. And so this trip, I did not take my backpack. I had one little clutch purse, and that was it. I felt so free. And so we just carried this baby around and filled it up.
Now, what is this Freestyle Icy?
Okay, so you can fill it up with the Freestyle drinks or icy.
What? Well, now that's different. Now that's
a different, yeah.
That's a game changer as much as the soft serve ice cream on the boat for me. You can get all the ices you want. Man. Now we're talking. I love an icy.
And it has a nice lid, too. It snaps open and closed. You can put a straw in it if you want, or you can sip.
That's a good cup.
It is, yeah.
I would if I'm being honest.
It was clean.
Well, that also, I don't love this theming. This is rather bland.
Well,
Universal, you can work on
Coke,
this.
I think freestyle,
I mean, you kind of got the little Harry Potter and the little lid, but this could be a lot gaudier.
Where's the Harry Potter?
Isn't that what that mountain is? Harry Potter Mountain? Isn't this Hogwarts up there?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
What's this say?
It says Volcano Bay.
It's
Volcano.
Yeah, that's
it's the water park.
Water park.
So they don't even have Harry Potter on here. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, I'm unimpressed with the cup, the theming of the cup. But I like the idea of it. The concept and the price is good. But I like a nice tacky, like this Mickey bucket of, where you're at when you get this. You're
right.
At Disney.
Right.
And much like that blue Coke, I'm drinking it proudly out of my,
I like my blue jacket.
My crazy cup. So, what else? You got any big final tips for eating and drinking and living your life?
I think my big tip of the day.
I already got one, so I'm not playing the music.
You already did yours. But my tip of the day would be to explore the restaurants in the resorts at Disney. I think the restaurants in the resorts are better than the restaurants in the parks.
Whoa.
I take. So it's not that hard to get to the resort from the park. Monorail, walk, boat, and it gives you a break from the park. You leave the park, and
Blasphemy.
get a little downtime at a restaurant and then head back to the park.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do.
Yeah. When we're there, we just follow the rules of hashtag treat yourself. We just go crazy because it's stuff that we'd never eat at home. But you're just like, like you said, we thought before, we'll just take some sandwiches, save some money, take a break, and then you get
like,
there,
hot dog!
Woo! Who's got $10 for an apple? Who wants a milkshake with a donut stick on the top? And you just go crazy because you're
That's
just
where
there,
you are.
and you just lose your mind when you get there, and it's
and
okay.
you're walking 30,000 steps a day. I mean,
because walking
you're
is
good.
all goodness gracious. For the record, it's not, but it is. It's all. It's just part of the fun. It's just delicious, good everything. It's part of the whole feel of, and Universal as well. Like I said, I've not been to the restaurants in the park, but that City Walk. Also very safe. That's part of the story that they won't. No knives or guns. So that's in it. But City Walk is very.
Episode 1, wasn't it? Or
did we even
2?
tell that story on the thing?
I think we did.
But that place is super cool, and it's Disney Springs. You could spend a day there. City Walk, you can check it all out and then move on into the park. Really, you could spend a couple hours there if you wanted to, but it's more fun of a nightlife kind of spot where Disney Springs is like an all day anything
shopping,
you want. So
yeah.
But.
Biggest tip, I think, though, is to make your dining reservations. Don't show up with no dining reservations.
My big tip is get a planner to plan your trip out, man.
I like that tip better.
She's free.
Free.
Free. You gotta beat the price. Come on.
All right. I think that's all for food.
The end.